Say, Daddy plays video games.
Daddy plays video games.
Woohoo! Look at all the stuff we're giving away. Woo! Okay, on to the Q&A. Thank you guys so much for... I'm looking here. I should be looking there. Looking there. Looking there. Thank you guys so much for the questions and all the participation that you've had. I'm looking down at my laptop right here in front of me. And myself right there in front of me. And then the camera. So if I go between the three... I guess I don't do these very much. So on to the questions. Now what I'm going to do, or the way we're going to do this, is I'm just going to read through some of the questions, kind of grab some of my favorite, and after each of the questions, maybe I'll say that's a winner, maybe it's not a winner. We'll just kind of see and go from there. I do this a lot. Maybe I need to readjust my glasses. Matthew Ramos asked, what is your favorite show and why is it Chuck? Well, I'm sorry, Matthew, my favorite show is not Chuck. In fact, my favorite show of all time, which is probably the greatest show of all time, is Scrubs. Seasons 1 through, and I will say it, 9. I do like season 9, even though people do hate it because it was kind of, people consider it an afterthought and yada yada yada. Scrubs is by far the best show of all time, followed closely by Parks and Rec, The Office, Frasier. Yes, Frasier. I am a 30-year-old white guy, so I will say Frasier is one of my favorite shows. Manny asks, how long have you played games and what got you into gaming? What was the first game you ever played? What games are you looking forward to the most in 2016? This is, I bring this up, I mentioned Manny asked this, but there was probably about a dozen or so questions about what my first game was, what games I'm looking forward to. First game ever that I ever really got into was Civilization 1 by Sid Meier's. Now, I played it with, a long time ago. I had the 7.5 inch, 7.25 inch floppy disk, the one that actually was floppy. And that was my first PC. What games I'm looking forward to the most in 2016? Right now, it's got to be Overwatch. You know, I know there's Paladins on my channel, which is much like Overwatch. But I'm just pretty psyched out about the game. I think Blizzard does a really good job of designing games and creating games. And that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. Another question was, is YouTube a full-time job? Or YouTube as a full-time job? Am I planning on doing it? Probably not. I started YouTube August 18th, a couple years ago, and or a year and a half ago, I guess you could say. And you know, I'm at 2,600 subscribers or something like that. I really have a lot of fun doing it. Met some great people, namely Seattle and I have become good friends. We've met in real life, had beers, and probably not gonna do full-time since I have 3 kids and, you know, aspirations of some sort of financial future. So 2,600 subscribers is not something that you could really do full-time on. You know, if my channel ever blew up, which, you know, happens to a lot of people, but, you know, not saying it's always going to happen to everybody. I still don't know if I would actually do it full-time. I think that I have right now stricken a really good balance. You know, I have 4 videos out last week, and I have on my desktop 9 videos published waiting to go out in the next couple weeks. And so being able to find that time, and we'll talk about that later on, I don't think I'll probably ever do it full-time. Will my kids pick up games as passionately as me? I don't know. I think maybe my oldest might. He loves his Leap Pad, so he loves playing his Leap Pad as much as he can. So maybe that'll be it. What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Well, I guess I'd have to answer your question with a question, which is that an African or a European swallow? How did I get into YouTube? Asked by Q Cole. That's a good question. I started YouTube. Actually, why did I start YouTube was, I think, more the question. I started YouTube because there wasn't a lot of people in my kind of demographics. You know, I'm a dad. I can't really afford to be buying a bunch of games and playing games all the time. And so what I wanted to do is just do a combination of showcasing, you know, you can still be a dad, you can still game, you can still have fun, and maybe it's a different outlook on games that maybe you had in your early 20s or teens or anything like that. And also my, you know, inevitable goal is to showcase or you know, play games that I find are really fun that maybe you can do even if you have a busy life. Decade Designs asks a great question. How long does it take to make and edit a video? I'm always recording. I record pretty much everything. I always play at all times just in case I capture that like really good moment, especially Counter-Strike. Every single game of Counter-Strike I record. And so how long does it take to make and edit a video? I would say, you know, Counter-Strike videos are about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how much editing I do. And any other video is around, on average, now a half hour. It used to take me around 2 hours when I first started, but I taught myself Adobe Premiere Pro, and now I'm not pro at it, but I do, you know how to get around. Jesse Jordan asked a really great question about SMITE, because I think I got a lot of SMITE viewers or questions. I posted it to the SMITE subreddit just to let them know as well. And of course, there's SMITE in the background of the video. What do I think of Scotty? I think Scotty, that's how you pronounce her name, the new god in SMITE. I think, of course, like any other guy that's released, she is a little OP. She's probably going to get hit with a Nerf bat here pretty soon. But she's a lot of fun. I like pet classes. When I was playing EverQuest 2, I played Necromancers and things like that. And so I like playing pet classes, and so that was a lot of fun, in SMITE to have something to have a pet to send out. But yeah, I think she's a little OP. She's a little different of a ranger or of a hunter class than the other ones. Her build is a little bit different, so I think she's a lot of fun. And with that, I'm going to say, Jesse, you won a mouse. Boom is going to Jesse Jordan. Jesse, if you do see this, make sure you do email me. My email is in the description below. Congratulations, you won a mouse. Now, the other question I got this from a few people, was about disappearing. Why did you disappear? Will you ever do it again? No, I do not plan on disappearing ever again. What happened was I moved from Arizona to Chicago, or from Phoenix to Chicago. I got a new job, and with that transition, we didn't live in our house for about a month. Well, about a month we didn't live in our house. And then when we actually moved, it was a big thing. And when I moved, I went to trainings and went to a lot of orientations, and it's kind of a high, I won't say high level job, but it does require a tremendous amount of mental space. And so I just didn't have the time. And actually I had time, but that time I wanted to devote to my family, because whatever time I had home, I didn't really want to be in front of the computer. I wanted to be with them. And that actually kind of comes to one of the big questions a lot of people ask, and this actually came in from a lot of dads, was how do I manage my time between gaming, YouTube, and family and job? So I would say the ability to do that really comes from just an amazing wife, first and foremost. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. We have 3 kids. We homeschool, and when the kids go down, and her and I have our time together, and she knows that I enjoy doing this. YouTube for me is just a really good creative outlet, and I love being creative, and it gives me the opportunity to do that. And so that's what I enjoy doing, and she's cool with that. If she wasn't cool with that, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. And not because of anything, but I just really want to respect her and love her, and whatever time we have together, I want to make sure that she's good with that. And so any leftover time is spent gaming and doing YouTube. What games do I plan on posting in the future? Great question. I actually recently just became an affiliate of Games Planet. You're actually going to see a Division video coming out this week. They actually have sponsored a video with the Division, and so because of that affiliation, there will be an ability for me to maybe have a little bit of diversity of the channel. I know I love Counter-Strike. It'll be primary Counter-Strike, SMITE, Black Ops. Call of Duty in some way or form. I know I haven't posted Call of Duty in a while, but I've just been in kind of a Counter-Strike kick. And anything else that we can. I plan on playing a lot of Overwatch when it comes out, so you'll definitely see that. If there's any other games you want me to play, just let me know. I do kind of slip in indie games here and there because I'm playing it, I want to enjoy it, and may as well record and share it with you guys. Someone asked the question, is God real? Well, I'm not going to skip that opportunity. I do love Jesus Christ with all my heart. I'm a Christian man. We're a Christian family, so absolutely yes, he is. He's real and very much alive. David Morris, sorry, I rolled your R on your name there. Just want to go ahead and say balancing baby time and gaming. Basically, this is your summary of the great question. Congratulations again on your new one. That is definitely a lot of fun. So balancing the baby and gaming. Babies are they're like a mixed bag of like a ton of work and super like easy at the same time. So when they're sleeping, it's like you have this internal struggle. Do I sleep? Do I do X, Y, and Z, or whatever? And I think that all parents need to have time to just kind of decompress on their own. So when the baby's asleep, I think you're probably doing this already, so I'm not sharing anything new. Baby's asleep, make sure, you and the significant other definitely spending that bonding time together. But they are going to want some time to themselves. You're going to want some time to yourselves, and that's when you kind of maximize on it. It's an ebb and flow. There's sometimes the babies are super easy, super roll with the flow, and sometimes they're not. And with that question, because I really liked it, I like talking about that, David, you are a winner of a mouse. Shadowbeck asked, fighting games, what are my thoughts on them? Great question. I love fighting games. I love fighting games. I just, with the PC, there's really not an opportunity to really play fighting games that much. I know they're out there, but it's kind of niche. You know, there's not a lot. I actually have Injustice: Gods Among Us on Steam. I've been playing Brawlhalla, which is a ton of fun. You're actually going to see a video of that either this week or next week of Otter and I playing, and that game is hilariously fun. So I actually really love fighting games. I remember playing Street Fighter on Super NES when I was 9 years old, playing Street Fighter, 10 years old, playing Street Fighter on Super NES at a neighbor kid's house. Never played the game before, got there, played 2 rounds, I started dominating the kids who actually had it. So much so that they never let me come over again. So I lost friends over that game. I've also lost friends over GoldenEye. Had a kid walk out of my house and never talked to me again. So Shadow Mike, that is a great question. Headset! Woo! Headset! Woo! Clown Car asks, what do you despise, or what game, I'm sorry, do you despise the most? I like this question, Clown Car, because most people, they ask, you know, what is your favorite game? What got you? All these really great questions, which are great questions. But I think this is the first time I've ever seen the question, what game do you despise the most? And I will say, the game I despise the most is Call of Duty Ghosts. That is the only game where I have mid-match, like mid-gameplay, stopped playing, backed out of Steam, uninstalled it, didn't play a video game the rest of the day. All right, final question is actually a really, again, this is very unique. I really liked it. Is what is the fondest memory of my father? And that's by Travis M. Actually win the second SteelSeries headset. So we've given away 3 mice and SteelSeries headset. Fondest memory of my dad. That's a hard one to pin down. I love my dad. We have a really great relationship. And, you know, for me, I'm going to say the fondest memory of him, and this might be cheating, but I worked with him for 2 years. And it was he and I outside working together. And although there were some struggles, and he kind of actually, like, there were some times where he was impatient with me, and because of his impatience, like, I took a gate operator to the throat or smashed my fingers, things like that. Fondest memory of my dad was for that 2 years of working with him. I really loved it. I mean, it was a blast being in the work truck with him, and, you know, going down to Tucson, going up to Flagstaff in Arizona, and that was probably the best time of my life. Fondest memories of my dad was that on a daily basis. So thank you guys so much for the questions. I don't know how long this is going to be because there's probably some cuts and some things like that because I just did it all in one take. And but I really appreciate everybody that participated. I'm sorry you didn't win, but, you know, let me just show you something real quick. If you've stuck around with me to the end of the video, let me get my my webcam. There's a lot of SteelSeries. This is all, look at that. And under there, all headsets. And under there is a headset. So there is... So there's a lot to still give away. I'm going to be doing a Counter-Strike skin giveaway coming up here pretty quick, as well as some extra games that I have sitting in my my Steam that I want to be giving away as well. So I do that not to get subscribers or get views or anything like that, but I just want to be able to. I have extra SteelSeries passed along just for you guys. And so that's what I want to do. You guys are amazing. Hope you enjoy the content. Please keep commenting. I love going back and forth with you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.